Discrimination is when decisions are made based on a person's social attributes, such as gender, race or ethnic origin, religion, association, physical characteristics, and/or other differentiations. Section 55 of the Constitution of Papua New Guinea calls for equality of citizens in all areas of social, economic, and political development, irrespective of race, tribe, place of origin, political opinion, color, creed, religion, or sex. This allows for the making of laws for special benefit, welfare, protection, or advancement of females, children, and young persons, members of underprivileged or less advanced groups, or residents of less advanced areas. PNG is also signatory to a number of international conventions that seek to prevent discrimination. For instance, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind. The International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination is a United Nations convention that commits its members to the elimination of racial discrimination. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women is an international bill of rights for women. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is an international human rights instrument treaty to promote, protect, and ensure the full enjoyment of human rights by persons with disabilities and ensure that they enjoy full equality under the law. Discrimination can be either direct or indirect. Direct discrimination happens when a person is treated less favorably than another person in the same or similar circumstances on a ground of a particular attribute, such as their age, gender, disability, race, region, religion, culture, social status, or other grounds. Indirect discrimination happens when there is a policy or rule or a way of doing things that might appear on the surface to be fair or neutral, but which has an unequal effect on certain groups of people with a particular attribute and the policy or rule is unreasonable. An example might be when the only way to enter a public building is by a set of stairs. Indirect discrimination is unlawful, regardless of whether the person discriminating intends to discriminate or is unaware that they are doing so. Harassment refers to unwanted or uninvited behavior that is offensive, intimidating, and humiliating. Workplace harassment is the offensive, belittling, or threatening behavior directed at an individual worker or a group of workers. Sexual harassment is when an individual makes an unwelcome sexual advance, an unwelcome request for sexual favors, or engages in other unwelcome sexual conduct in relation to another person, in circumstances in which a reasonable person, having regard to all the circumstances, would have anticipated that the other person would be offended, humiliated, or intimidated. Sexual harassment may include staring or leering, unnecessary familiarity, such as deliberately brushing up against you, or unwelcome touching, suggestive comments or jokes, insults, or taunts of a sexual nature, sending sexually explicit emails or text messages, inappropriate advances on social networking sites, requests for sex, or repeated unwanted requests to go out on dates. Linking employment or promotion opportunities to the provision of sexual favors. Workplace bullying. Workplace bullying refers to an unreasonable and oppressive behavior directed at an officer or staff member that may create a risk to the physical and psychological well-being. As an officer or employee of the National Public Service, you have the right to conduct your work in an environment which is free from discrimination or harassment and one that supports your health and well-being. You should expect to be provided with respect, dignity, and meaningful work and equal opportunities for learning and education to equip you for advancement in your chosen career. The Gender Equity and Social Inclusion Policy will help the National Public Service develop and maintain a positive and respectful work culture that ensures equity and diversity for all employees, free from discrimination, harassment, and bullying.